I'm Jeff Gordon, and you're watching Racing America. I'm Jeff Gordon, and you're watching Racing America.
Well, there's an intro for you.
There it is, right?
That sums up the week, doesn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
I'll tell you,
Been
man.
an interesting week, both here and abroad.
Yeah. Welcome in, friends. It is hashtag Real Race Talking to Thursday, the Revved Up Sports Show from Texas, and lots to talk about tonight. We'll talk racing, but obviously, man, God, it's been a bitch around here, man. It's been really hard. Been a really hard week.
Yeah, it's been really hard. For those that have been curious and those that have been asking, we've been able to tell a few people is that as far as the flooding goes, the Kerr County stuff, as the crow flies from my house, is about an hour northwest-ish, kind of directly west. And then from you, what is it from Kerr? About 2 hours or so, roughly,
Yeah.
give or take? Yeah, roughly.
Yeah.
Kind of west, southwest to you, northwest to me. So
Yeah, it was a lot of people over the weekend that were reaching out. You know, it's kind of one of those things where, and it was a lot of Florida people, as a matter of fact, were like, "Are you okay?" Which we do that as well when there's a Florida thing. It's like, "Hey, are you okay?" And they're like, "Well, it's not anywhere near us. It's somewhat close. Actually, it got a little closer to me than I really realized with Williamson County. That's when things really got interesting because when you started having all that. But it's just been, I mean, mass casualties and people missing, and you obviously don't want anything bad to happen to anyone, but when it wipes out a bunch of kids like it has, that's just made it even
not a good thing. Yeah, definitely not a good thing. So sad times, but Texas is resilient, as we've already seen so far, with people helping people and everybody trying to lend a helping hand. That's the good sign, right? That's the goodness we see in people. We complain a lot about people on this show being negative and all of that, but I think for once we're seeing that Texas is showing once again why it's the friendly state here. So
yeah, and there are a lot of businesses and organizations doing different things, to help out. And I was kind of looking around today, and what I think would probably be, this is the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund, and the web link is right there, is actually something where that right there, what they're actually doing is anything that, and you can go in and make a monetary donation, different ways that you can be a part of that. But that's really the one that I found is actually right there in Kerr County. And unfortunately, I've been talking about this the last couple of days on morning radio, to where it's like, this is when the vultures come out, man. Unfortunately, when we talk about the bad in people, it's situations like this when you have a horrible hailstorm. People come knocking on your door and doing different things, and they want to rip you off. And even in this tragic situation, that I'm sorry, that will happen now. I mean, that will happen.
They've
now.
already had to post about, make sure you put with the check marks on the official GoFundMe pages and all of that. So
yeah. So you can find lots of different ways to lend a hand, whether it's perishable items or gently used clothing or so forth and so on. But what Kerr County Flood Relief is doing, they actually take those funds and they put them in grants. Grants that folks don't have to pay back. They can't actually give those to people, but what they actually do is they actually will distribute those into trustworthy organizations that are going to help, whether it be the victims or the folks that are working hard and so forth, and lots of businesses donating their time and money to that. But it's just been that Guadalupe, man. There's I've seen it, having traveled between this area and up through San Antonio and all of that Guadalupe, man, you piss that bitch off and she will start roaring. And that's what happened this weekend.
Kind of like the Blanco, right? Except the Blanco has less water in it. It's either feast or famine on the Blanco. It's either usually completely empty or completely flooded. Guadalupe's got enough flow in it. That's one of the tubing rivers outside of New Braunfels. When you see a lot of tubing pictures and videos from the great state of Texas, a lot of that is filmed not far from the house, right down the road outside of New Braunfels, there on the Guadalupe River. So that's where you see a lot of the Texan tubing. For those who don't know what tubing is, it's when you get in the inner tube and float down the water. Some people may not know what inner tubing is like they do in Texas. So, but that's it. Yeah, it's a sad deal. But the saving grace is seeing everybody come together and try to unite. And we weren't nobody was complaining about politics. Well, the smart ones weren't complaining about politics. They didn't bring up politics. They were just trying to help their fellow man out, and that's probably the best thing that we've seen in a while.
Yeah, and that's the thing to really do right now. However you can lend a hand or whatever. I mean, if anything, just think positive thoughts, because there are a lot of heartbroken people. Whether it be, it really is when you see this. I'm on not only the loss of life, but when you watch. I was watching a story today where they were it was a mobile home, I think, that was sitting on a spot, and there were these two huge trees that had been there for hundreds of years sitting in that spot. And as that wall of water, and for those of you that don't know, this was like a 26-foot rise in the river in less than an hour. And as this wall of water was coming towards the property right there, the two trees didn't give. I mean, the two trees were able to stay up, and it essentially saved lots of lives. The house got beat up, the house is tore up, but it's salvageable. So that's one of the few positive stories that you're hearing through this. But the loss of life, the loss of property, the loss of just everything. And where you say, Bobby, with resiliency, so many of these people that have been through this before. I mean, not that long ago, and their first words are, "We'll rebuild." I mean, we're not leaving. We're going to stay right here, and that's Texas pride. That's a lot of Texas pride right there.
Yeah, I mean, in the floods of 2015, I mean, my family lost a lot. Luckily, they didn't lose their house, but that was one of those things. They said they weren't going to leave. I mean, at that point, it was a 1,000-year floodplain. Of course, now the Army Corps of Engineers and FEMA have claimed it 100-year floodplain, but it's become a challenge nonetheless. It is a challenge when you get flooded out like that. It's just the massive cleanup. Everything just gets so wet. My whole die-cast collection got tore up because they were all in boxes in a storage shed. And just, that's why I have a lot of die-casts, but a lot of them don't have boxes because the boxes got destroyed in a flood 10 years ago. So
yeah. And the crazy thing about what's happened here, and again, I think that we owe, Riley Allen's coming up at 7:15. We're going to talk to her 7:35. We'll talk to Kevin Rogers live from Texana Raceway Park, where you've got a huge one coming up this weekend where weather is affecting that as well, Bobby, as you well know. So we'll kind of get some details on all of that, but it goes without saying that we owe the time to talk about this, because it really has been the outpouring of help from around the country. I mean, around the world. I mean, honestly, folks that, and this isn't anything new. I mean, we see this in the U.S. where when something like this happens, it's a little different for us because it's essentially right here in our backyard, the way that this has happened. But the way that this all transpired, it's been the weather pattern. It's just it would not stop. I mean, I shit you not. I mean, unless you were here, and I know our friends along the coast lived through this a lot more, but it's so much different for us being right here. And essentially, rivers, all that, oceans, not in this area whatsoever. These are rivers and creeks and so forth that have just, the rain would not stop. I sat here, I think it was 4th of July, and it was just ongoing. And a lot of times, Bobby, it wasn't gray outside. It wasn't dark outside. It just wouldn't freaking stop raining.
Yeah, well, we got to see. I mean, obviously, I was in Vegas last week, so we weren't here for the main brunt of it. But we kept getting the weather reports on our phones, just because they didn't know the difference between Las Vegas and Texas, because the phones and stuff are based in Texas. We have all the storm warnings and stuff there on the text messages. We're getting all the text message updates. We just didn't realize how bad it was until we got back.
Yeah.
And then when we got back, then we're just like everybody else watching the TV and seeing it get worse and worse and worse every day with the tragedy and the devastation and all that. Just more bad news rolling in every day. When you get back, you're like, man, this is bad.
And it was so weird on Saturday because I was going to Houston for a work event, and so I leave, and I'm in the inner part of Houston, right there off 610 at NRG Stadium, and I leave Round Rock Saturday morning, probably 8:30. It's just pouring. I mean, it's absolutely pouring, and I'm driving along. It took me down 71. I'm driving down 71. I go all that way, just continually pouring. It stopped every now and then. It seemed like, which was good because it got to the point where like people are pulling off the road and you're seeing water begin to sit on 71. And you know how 71's wide and flat, and you still have all that going. And then I hit 10 and still just going crazy. I get to what's that, Hempstead, I mean, out that way, still going. And I'm like, there's no way we're going to do this event. There's absolutely no way that we're going to pull this off. And I get, and you, of course, you had the race in Houston that's going on that Riley will talk about here in just a second. I'd pull over and I'd look. I'm like, okay, they got to be canceled, and nothing. And I get about 40 miles from NRG Stadium, dry as a bone.
And not a drop on the ground. Didn't have a drop in the ground on Houston.
Absolutely.
At H&P. So
totally crazy. But lots of somber times around here. But as we do, we're going to talk about racing, and we're going to, of course, be thinking about all the folks that are involved right there. Again, that is the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund. If you're able, just kind of one to look at, but do your research before you do anything. Talking about that huge weekend in Houston, looky there! Look at this kid jumping back on. Had to jump on the message right away after that big event. It is, I mean, nationwide wonder right here. Welcome back to the Revved Up Sports Show. It is our friend Riley Allen. How you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for taking the time to jump on here. So talk about that. First of all, you guys, you're out there. You're north of where I am. You're out there in Liberty Hill, and we've had that's one of those Williamson County areas there. Depending on how you look at Williamson County, you guys okay? How's everything been out there for you?
Oh, we got so much rain. It's been pretty rough out here. I mean, it's pretty dry now, but I personally know some people who have suffered tremendously from the rain, and I'm just praying for them. I feel so bad for the people that I know who they just have a lot of damage, and it's rough out here, but it's definitely a lot better now, but it was really bad.
Absolutely.
Well, let's talk about the good stuff so far before we get into Houston, because we know that's the highlight of your week, right? Let's talk about your experience when you went to Pensacola and Mobile, the great big tracks down there. Talk about your weekend and how that went over there.
So when we first got there, it was just a little intimidating for at least Five Flags because it was my first time there. Yeah. And we were a little late to practice, but the second I got on that track, I knew I was going to love it. And it felt so good. And being able to go to all these different tracks it's amazing. So Five Flags is great. The race was really intense, especially when I accidentally spun myself. Then I had to restart in the back. But being able to make it back up to a podium spot to finish was just amazing. The crowd was great. It was just, I wouldn't choose a different place for my very first podium.
No, absolutely. So with that there with Pensacola, because you've done Mobile and they are vastly different. I mean, a lot of people want to compare the two tracks, but they're the only thing they have in common is they're half miles. But with Pensacola, talk about the surface there. That's what you still have all your teeth. I mean, that's a rough track surface out there.
Yeah. So a lot of people were telling me that it was a really rough track, and I was preparing myself for that. And it was pretty rough, but it definitely wasn't super bad. I actually barely noticed it, and that might be because, I run dirt on the side, so it's always rough. But I actually loved that track, and it felt like it was made for me.
Nice.
That sounds like a superstar to making right there.
No shit.
Trucks and all kind of stuff coming because those guys, some of them guys don't like Pensacola because it's too fast. You're saying you're loving it, so that's a good thing. So let's head over to Mobile. Obviously, you ran a couple of times in Mobile. Rodney said they're different tracks, which they are. If you've never been, they're both huge half miles and super fast. I guess the advantage is in Mobile, you don't have the wall except for around the front stretch. But how much fun did you get to have on the doubleheader? Did you get a chance to relax at all, go to the beach or anything, or were you just set up for racing and that was it for that doubleheader weekend?
So after the doubleheader, we did drive back to Florida and we spent 3 days on the beach. It did rain a lot though, so we didn't spend a lot of time on the beach, but it was still fun to just relax. But Mobile, I love that place so much. I mean, Eddie Shoemaker and the entire staff there, they're amazing people. They make me feel so welcome. I don't even feel like an outsider at all. And it just, everyone is there, it feels like, to help you. And to me, it just feels like another local track at this point. I love that track so much.
Oh man, it's a great place. It is an absolutely great place. So with the Friday, so I'm going to go back to Friday. So after that incident happened there, where whatever happened to you, the way that you drove back through the field. I mean, because there were some really really good cars there. And by the way, great job, Legacies, showing up and showing out over there. Kind of take us through that, because that's when I'm like, okay, this is going to be a big test here. How you're going to handle yourself, because I'm an old dude. And I probably would have spun out again, pissed off at myself or whatever. Kind of take us through how you drove through the field to get back up on the podium.
So after I spun out, I didn't know. I mean, it was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I was kind of embarrassed, and I felt so like I was just beating myself up. But then I told myself to just relax, and it'll be fine. And then I just carefully weaved through traffic. I made clean passes. I tried to get around people as easily as I could. And next thing I knew, I was holding on to a good fourth or fifth. I don't really remember. But then some other things happened, and then I ended up finishing a strong third. And it was amazing. I still can't believe it, but I'm just so glad that I was able to get back up there and really show the crowd how I can drive.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of crowd, let's talk about H&P on this past Saturday night. Number one, huge crowd there. Let's talk about, before we get into the win, obviously that was cool. They got to do the meet and greet again, which they opened up the track, and that with that big of a crowd, the meet and greets are usually a lot of fun. How much interaction do you do with the fans? Number one, and number two, how do they react? Do you get a lot of fans from the little girls out there and some of the ladies in the crowd once they realize they got a lady racer to cheer for?
Yeah, the meet and greets are really awesome. I always have a good handful of people there to come by the car, and a lot of kids will come by, and I give out little hero cards and I sign them. And also, I've actually had people ask me to sign their foreheads. So that's kind of been a thing. Honestly, it's kind of funny. But even adults will come by and ask me questions, or they'll bring over their little kids and I'll offer to let them sit in my car. And it's just, the people there are amazing. The fans are great. And it just feels so good to like be able to interact with them.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And so with that, I have to tell you about Florida. I know we're all over the map here, but so the whole thing with the Florida, have you gone back and listened to the I know you have, I talked to your mom, but those people, I mean, the way that they were like, this Riley Allen, I mean, this young Riley, I mean, on and on. And I am not joking, Riley. My phone is like blowing up on Friday night when you did the drive. And then on Saturday, not quite as bad as Friday, but they're like, who is this? Who is this kid? So how has that been after that? Because it was like you put a stamp down and people are like, holy shit.
It was awesome. People were texting me and they were like, did you see the race on like Racing America? And I was like, no, I haven't. So I went back and watched it, and you're right. They were saying my name over and over. It was amazing. It felt great. And thanks to that race, I actually got a hold of Cody Brusso, and we've been talking on the side a little bit. Some little opportunities have opened up for me. So I'm just so glad that I went to that race, because honestly, my life has changed a lot since then.
No doubt.
Well, Cody Brusso has an effect on a lot of people. Your life will change when you start hanging out with Cody Brusso, in a good way, of course. In a good way. She's a friend of the show, been on here
And
multiple
for the
times.
bad. And for the bad.
I'll let Rodney stay for the bad. I'm going to stay positive and stay for the good. But so on to Houston, the race itself. Obviously, the legacy class there in Houston is really competitive, and you've raced there a lot, and you've got a chance to get your feet wet and get it done. So talk about the race and then talk about the win, because we saw how excited you were when you got out. You were just beaming, had that smile a mile wide. Obviously, it was good to win, but talk about the overall race and talk about that feeling of winning.
So I started 5th, and I was pretty positive that we could get another podium, especially since we did really good at the other tracks. And so the race was going on, and it was a crazy race, to say the least. But once we got up to 2nd, and then after a while, the car really came in, and then all of a sudden I knew we were in 1st. And then my car actually was having some like overheating issues, but we let it slide. And then I was so in my car, in my mind, I was excited. I was overwhelmed. I was like, I really hope this goes well, because we did have a red on like 3 laps to go. So it was going to be a green, white, checkered. And that is a feeling like no other, especially knowing that the car in P2 is very competitive. Mike Steinman, and he was really good to race against. But it was just really, really, it was amazing. And then after getting the checkered, I mean, podiuming is one thing, and then that's another feeling in itself. But winning is it's breathtaking. You feel like you're on top of the world. It feels like everyone's just looking at you, and it was amazing. It was so exhilarating, and I was so grateful for that.
Absolutely. So what has happened here for you guys? Because I know you were very competitive at the beginning of the year, but it's and I think it's maybe just little technical gremlins that had been kind of biting at your team there on that 25 car just a little bit. But whatever that problem was, that seems to be really solved, because it's just come on, and kind of speak to that part.
So Delilah May, she rebuilt my motor, so I want to give her a shout out. That has helped tremendously. And then when we went to Five Flags, I also got some help from the PV family, so I'd also really like to thank them. And there's just been so much help. So many things have added onto my car to really make it competitive. And this season has just been really great for me, and I can't wait to see how it goes even further into the year.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, trying to take a jug of water, but that's okay. He's playing extra producer tonight. He's got, I don't know if you can see the screens flipping and all of that. He's in a good mood tonight. He's flipping all the screens around.
Hey, we have a winner here. I mean, yeah,
you know, you're trying to make it special. I understand.
That's right. That's right.
When it's just the two of us, he doesn't care. So what's next for you? Have you heard anything about? When last time you were here, you talked about maybe some stuff with trucks and some stuff with some late models, or maybe an outlaw. You didn't want to spill the beans. Any further information you can give us on the inside information on that?
So there are definitely some things in the works. I don't know what all I can say, so I'm going to keep it on the down low still, but stay tuned, because it's going to be pretty soon. But there are definitely some bigger opportunities that I've been, given, and very grateful for. And I'm very excited to try out bigger cars or bigger trucks.
Fair enough.
So with this happening, I mean, is there still going to be a focus for you to do dirt stuff, or has that changed this year to where you're going to go solidly to pavement stuff with the Legacy, or will we still get to see you race on dirt?
I race dirt whenever I can. With the rain though, every weekend has rained out, and it's just really hard to race the micro. If we want to race it, our best bet actually might be to leave Texas, which that's a big step kind of. But we're going to just keep racing it, because dirt helps with the aggression. It helps me be a better driver. We're not sure if we're going to choose one or the other, but so far we're just going to keep running both.
So talk about the trophy that you got. Did you get your big trophy that they normally give out in Houston? Did you put it behind you, or is it in front of you or at the shop? Where'd you put it?
So this one right here is from Five Flags, but Houston is right here.
There it is. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. That's pretty cool. I have to ask, so how cool was it? Because that guy that I call Hollywood that races against you out there in that green and yellow car, he's kind of been on a roll a little bit right there. He kind of swept the Gulf Coast, and I think you guys are a little competitive. How great to break his streak.
It felt pretty good. I will say that. It was really good, actually.
You did catch when he was on, when he said, well, that when that one spin out, I think Riley spun out. You caught that, right?
I did catch that, and I talked to him about that, actually.
Yeah. What a guy. Now he's a good dude. He's a good dude.
So Riley, who all is your mentors now when you're starting to move up in the world? Obviously, you've got the Ashcraft team and stuff like that helps you on the dirt side. Who's been the biggest mentor? I mean, Magic Mike has told us a little bit about you and helped with your progression some and the legacy car. Anybody other than Mike kind of helping you and kind of getting you set up for those next couple of steps that you're clearly going to take here in the next couple of years?
I'd say my biggest mentor right now is Jake Wright, the Wright family. They're an amazing family, and they've helped me so much, and they give me so much inspiration for everything, and they're definitely going to be one of the people that help me make it bigger.
Sorry, getting too happy over here with all the buttons. Well, we do ask this. So when you hit that big time, remember us. Remember us, because you are a great speaker. So hey, yeah, I used to talk to these couple of dipsticks over there in Texas. Because no, it's been great to watch. Just a tremendous month that you've had right here, and looking forward to what all comes next. Again, talk about everybody that makes it happen for you. I know you guys are a family team, just like so many of us have always been. Talk about those blood, sweat, and tears that people put in for you.
Yeah, I'd definitely like to thank my family, my mom and dad. Like I said, the Wright family, the Peavies, the Quilties, the Caldwells, especially Nathan Caldwell. He was my spotter last race, and he was in my ear just giving me a lot of motivation, and I can't thank him enough for that. Ashcraft Motorsports, Delilah May, Mike Knott. I'd like to also thank Brian Benedict for putting the regional series together, and he's helped at least half the legacy class be able to travel, and it's opened new doors. We've been told that Montgomery Motor Speedway wants us to come race there next year, so I'd like to thank him for that. The Autries and the Revved family in Mobile, also a lot of help, and Crystal Falls Realty.
Absolutely. A lot of folks to make it happen. That Montgomery would be really, really cool. I think you'd like that place. I think you would like that a lot. Riley, great job. We're so proud of what you're doing. Thank you. So Bobby, I even messaged her. I didn't know that they were going to be on vacation. I'm like, hey, can you come on? She's like, let me get home. Let me get home there, dude. Let me get home.
I know. I felt so bad because I love this show. I love talking to you guys, and I was so eager to come on. And then when you texted me after the race, I was like, well, dang, I'm going back to Florida.
No, yeah. It all worked out. It all worked out well.
The vacation is more important. You'll
right.
learn. I mean, I couldn't even get on in Vegas last week, so that was bad. I was supposed to co-host the show, and I didn't have enough internet at the hotel to even get on. So
yeah.
Enjoy the vacation while you can get them.
Yeah, it's all good.
They get more expensive when you get older and have to start paying for them yourself.
Yes, they do. Best wishes. Obviously, let us know how we can help you. Looking forward to the next time that we get to see you on the racetrack. Congratulations. Tell the folks hi, and
thank you so much, guys.
Absolutely. Take care, Riley. There she goes. She's got that speaking part down too, right?
She's getting there. She got it pretty good. Yeah, the best part about it is, though, we have definitely showcased young racers throughout our time period on this show.
Yeah.
Because we're one of the originals that started a lot of it. A lot of copycats out there. But
we're like
we are
the Colonel
original.
Sanders.
That's
the
right.
Colonel Sanders of race programs right here.
And we have brought you, the fans of this great show, we have brought you future superstars. We can add her to that list of the next big round of superstars that's going to come out of this show.
Yeah.
We've got Honeycutt for one, Moppin for another. We can have her. We've had Jake Wright on, had a lot of the younger guys and gals come on that are the next big thing when it comes to racing. So
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, she's that was the one thing there that, and again, I talked to her mom, and there were, I mean, there were just little small gremlins that were affecting them, and once they've gotten all of that figured out, and people are jumping aboard there to give a hand, they've got that car figured out, and the girl can just drive. I mean, that's the bottom line. I mean, we see it a lot where you have the great equipment, you can put the best setup. I mean, it happened to me before where somebody would come and put an extremely amazing setup in my race car, and I'd still find a way to fuck it up. And this young lady right here, she's doing it in that legacy, and I can't wait to see her kind of take that next step and maybe get an opportunity to dive into something else. Before we jump in and talk to our man, OKR, Kevin Rogers, he's going to be joining us here in just a couple of minutes live from Texana Raceway Park. Again, this show is live on that whole original thing. This is live. That's why we have little hiccups like we do from time to time. But we do want to tell you about the official apparel provider of the Revved Up Sports Show, of Bobby, of Dirty Air. It is our friends at On Demand Shirts in San Antonio. ODS. Check them out on Facebook. Anything you're looking for. If you're trying to do a fundraising opportunity, you got a little league team, corporate stuff. I've been through that shop a couple of different times. Number one, it's amazing to see with the embroidery, with the just everything that they're able to do. But you go and you look at the customer base to where it's like, I remember Cole walked me through there one time. He's like, here's your shirts. And like right next to our shirts, there's, I'm not going to say the corporate name, but I'm like, damn, that's the only time that will be mentioned in the same sentence with that group right there. But let's hear from James Cole.
Precision, consistency. Just like in racing, these are our values as screen printing, embroidery, and everything in between. If it's branded, we can do it.
That's James Cole.
I know.
We talk about
when I saw that little reel pop through the other day and I shared it, I was like, they got James Cole to do the voiceover on his own commercial.
Yeah.
Not that he's shy. Yeah. I mean, he's a great guy. I mean, we deal with him all the time. In fact, I'm going to finish up. I'll finish up the next round of merch stuff with him on Saturday when I get a chance to talk to him. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. He's got some good stuff. But that you've seen the merch that he made for me. That's going to be great.
He told me 2.5 years ago. He's like, I'm not ready. I know he's done some other stuff. I know he's done some cameo stuff because he's reached out. He's like, dude, don't think that I forgot you. Don't think that he's like, I'm not ready to be on y'all show because I never know what's coming at me. And it's like, James, we're only going to ask you what you're going to know. So don't worry about that. But yeah, there it is. On Demand Shirts. Great folks right there. Check them out. I apologize for the dogs. They're waiting on their food. And I think their mother has arrived to bring that to them. All right. Big race weekend coming up at Texana Raceway Park, and that looks like a very stressed man right there that is trying to put all this together. We talked about Texas weather. We talked about just everything that's going on over here. Edna, Texas, if you're not familiar with that one, well, it's too hard to explain. But anyway, it is the huge event coming up. It's supposed to be it was going to be a 2.5-day show. Big money on the line. There's still big money on the line, but let's go live to Texana Raceway Park, the beautiful Texana Raceway Park, and welcome in our main man. It is OKR, Kevin Rogers. How you doing, brother?
Man, I am good. I am actually at the Best Western here in Edna. We've been out the racetrack all day, and I want to start out by saying this. Cord Beard and about 20 of his staff have been pumping water all week out there. They're working around the clock. I hope people come and support even the one-day event. It's still a great purse. It's going to be a fun format. We're going to do a lot of cool stuff, but the amount of effort, and Sunday my plan is to post a bunch of videos and pictures to kind of walk people through what this week has looked like, because I thought I had an idea what they was doing on the phone early in the week, and then I got down here yesterday, and holy crap, these guys they're working their tails off. So if you see any of those guys, and there's a beer stand nearby, go ahead and grab them a couple of cold ones on everybody and thank them. But man, I like being down this part of the world. I'll be glad when it quits raining so much. It makes for a lot of headache and a lot of decision making, but we've got a good support crew and team around us, and we're gonna have a great time Saturday night out there.
So now I've been lucky enough to be on the phone with you, texting you back and forth last couple of days, and getting somewhat of the insight on the different things. And I know that I kind of knew with the weather that Thursday was kind of going to be a wash, but Talk about the agonizing decision to cancel tomorrow night's the Friday night portion. I know it's not easy because you got people pre-registered, already paid in, all that good stuff. So talk about just the, what goes through the mind of the promoter when you have to make that major decision like that.
Well, you just want to go home. At that point, you're like, gosh, almighty. But really, it's not as bad as you think. I mean, there's a lot of elements that I don't think a lot of people realize. You got to make a call early enough. Most hotels, 3 or 4 o'clock, you got to cancel rooms. 24-hour policy. So I've always been a believer of being a good steward of other people's time and money. I don't like people wasting my time or money, and I don't want to waste other people's time or money. And just talking to the guys that are on the ground that knows the surface and the pit area and stuff, they're like, man, we think we can give you a good show Saturday. We just don't think we can get it in Friday. And it's not from a lack of effort, I promise you that. But I think we made the right call. I think it gives everybody an opportunity to kind of regroup. And we work the purse where it's still a fairly good 1 day purse. I want to thank 105 Speedway, Cotton Bowl, I-37, and the Race Ranch. All four of those tracks are off this weekend, which I think is really cool when you put on an event and those tracks like, hey, we'll take the weekend off and support what you're doing. So we want to reciprocate that, but I want to give those four venues a plug. So we still got a good chance of getting some good car counts. We obviously had some out of towners that were coming down that probably won't be here because of the distance and the 1 day deal. And that's okay. I know some of them are going to stay up in the Metroplex and go to the Ronnie Sigmund Memorial at RPM. And Ronnie was a good friend of mine. So I hope that race is phenomenal as well. But man, I'm excited. I'm tired. I'm not as tired as them guys on the ground working, but I'm tired. But I like being down here in Edna, Texas. And I can't say enough about Cord Beard and Monty Chamberlain, what they're doing down here. I told Cord after our Stems race a while back, you got the nicest venue in the country that people don't know about, and we need to help change that because it is a phenomenal facility out there.
Isn't that really that's an understatement right there? I mean, just everything that's the infrastructure of the track, and not only that, KR, but it's like, I know that there was a flooding or they had some drainage issues and all that, but that's been taken care of as well. Just everything that they've done there. I mean, when you want to talk about, I actually every time that I go to Texana, I don't know if you've been to Five Flags Speedway. Heart of Texas Speedway and Texana Raceway Park feel like Five Flags Speedway to me because they are just that top notch when it comes to the bleachers, the press box at Bobby's End, the grounds, the grass is always cut. It's little things like that. Fixing the bathroom, concession stands. That is just one badass little place in a small town in Texas.
Yeah, I want to move around. I don't know how good the internet service is here, so I'm trying to make. But I tell you, Cord Beard is committed to making Texana a really quality place, and there's a lot of tracks in this part of the world doing that, and I have a lot of respect for what they're doing. I'm kind of a nerd, and talking about Five Flags, I was in Florida for a week in February and got a chance to go meet with Tim, the promoter and owner at Five Flags, and he gave us a tour. And Rodney, I'm gonna make you a happy man. I watched the Stinger Nationals or whatever Slinger Nationals last night. I'm watching more asphalt racing. And every time I watch it, I think about you. But I'm enjoying the asphalt stuff a little bit. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff going on. It's a good time to be a race fan and a racer and a promoter. I mean, when the weather will finally give us a little break, I think these folks are going to get their money's worth and see a really cool program Saturday night at Texana and a lot of venues across the country. But
absolutely,
man, I just love doing this. I could probably do something else in my life and make more money, but gosh dog, it's just hard to get out of this business. I enjoy it so much. And it's a challenge. One thing we were going to do that kind of stinks because we lost Friday is we was going to, and Bobby, you can help me on this because I butchered every time. I think it's Offenheiser or Otzenheiser Chevrolet or whatever, but we were going to take our top six and our limiteds and our top six in our factories over there Saturday. We had 12 new vehicles lined up. We was going to put 6 key fobs in a bucket. And that's how they was going to pill draw. Pull a key fob, unlock the car. That's going to be their starting position for Saturday night. Nice. So I hate that we're not going to get to do some of that stuff because I like creative and fun redraws if we're going to do a redraw. And I got to give a lot of credit to Owen Pittman. That was kind of his idea, and we just kind of ran with it. But it's always fun to try to make these events and get people and get that atmosphere. And I think we're going to have a good atmosphere Saturday night. I don't think they've raced down here for about 8 weeks. due to the weather and scheduling and what have you. So I'm pretty excited about the weekend, and I think we're still going to have a great car race, and I think we have a good atmosphere. ODS, James Cole and them bringing their merch trailer down. We got a lot of cool merch going to be slinging out of there, bringing the trailer. It's going to be a good atmosphere. We're going to have big old screens on there. Race on will be catching all of it live, like a good big show atmosphere. And I think when you get that atmosphere, people get their money's worth. And just looking at some of the pre-entries that are coming and the phone calls I got today, you're not going to want to miss it because we're going to line up 24 some of the baddest racers in the state of Texas Saturday night and duke it out for a little money. And I think people are going to be pleased with the product.
Absolutely.
Let's see. It's Atzenhofer. Chevrolet Cadillac is the name of the name of the dealership. Yeah. Close. It's not bad. I mean, I butchered it too when I first started. And then let's see what else. It was Atzenhofer. And then where are you going to put the TV? Is it going to be right in the middle?
Well, we were going to put the TV. Well, we were going to put it in the infield, but I just don't know. That trailer's heavy. Probably going to put it in the pit, so all of our racers, we can use the PA off the pit area right there behind the pit bleachers. They can catch the racing action and kind of stay in flow what's going on, because we don't plan to take an intermission, unless we got to do any kind of track rework. We want to get this show rolling and get it going. And a lot of people are coming down and going to drive home on Saturday night. So we want to be a good steward of people's time and give them a good show and get them in and out and make it all happen. But yeah, that's the plan right now. He's in the pits. If it drives out, we're going to put a smack down in the infield, make that our victory lane board, and let the folks watch some cool in-car cameras in the stands and kind of get the folks there in the audience there an opportunity to see some cool things that folks get to see.
So let's take a look at the adjusted purse right here. And I didn't pull up the full adjusted purse poster, but just kind of what folks need to know, because the main thing is times have actually shuffled around just a little bit. Obviously going from a 2-day show to a 1-day show, but it's still, $2,000 to win for the limited modifieds and factory stocks, and then hobby stocks and e-mods, $1,000 right there. You had to shuffle that purse around a little bit. I mean, it's all economics right here. I mean, and the nice thing is I haven't seen a lot of people bitching and moaning about that purse change. I do totally get that you may not get some out of towners, but still, like you said, I kind of like this being culminated into a 1-day show. I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than the alternative, but like you said, still a really, really damn good payday. And I think you will have some amazing car counts.
Well, I think so. I think we got a good shot still. We try to put out a fair purse, to put something that made sense for the racers and made sense for the fans and made sense for the promoters of the event and the owner and stuff. So there was a lot of moving pieces there. What you're looking at, that flyer and the purse flyer, race on Help the South, kind of get that flipped around. But everything that you saw posted around 2:15, 2:30 today has been in the works all morning long. We had a quick turnaround to make it happen, because that's one thing about this. You got to sit there and unfortunately you got to look at so many different scenarios. You got to sit there and wonder if what you're doing is right, wrong, and different. And you just play devil's advocate. You got to have a plan A, B, C through the alphabet. And so I think we come up with something that's going to be good for everybody.
Absolutely.
So, KR, we've had enough fun talking about Texan, and I'll still be there for Saturday, mid-afternoon. Be there, help you, support you. Let's talk about your other fun little racetrack you got. Let's talk about what's going on up at Rocket coming up here in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, we're going to leave Santa Sunday morning, get back up to Paris, Texas Sunday evening, and hit the ground running Monday morning with the 5th Annual Cowboy Classic, our USRA Limited Mod B-Mod Special. We're going to, it's always been a 5,000 to win, 500 to start format. I'm trying to go away from racing for free. I'm trying to get it where when you're on the track, it means something. So we just basically took the purse and cut it a little bit. And when I say cut it, we didn't take any money out. We actually put some money in it. But Friday night will be a 2,000 to win, 200 to start show. And Saturday night will be a 3,000 to win, 300 to start show. And I had some people ask me why I did it, so I'll just tell you guys so the world can hear it all at one time. But there's 2 reasons I did that. I think it's good that you get multiple opportunities to make some money each day. And plus, if like the situation we got now, say we was to rain out next Friday night up at Rocket, we could still rock and roll and run for 3,000 win on Saturday. It's already kind of set up that way. So just trying to figure out what works. I don't know if we've tried anything, but we're trying to figure out something. But it's going to be a great show.
Yep, absolutely. Couple of big ones, and it all starts Saturday night, and we'll talk about it here in just a little bit more. Saturday night, big show coming up at Texana Raceway Park, and KR Promotions right there. It is our man Kevin Rogers. Kevin, looking forward to this big show. I think again, Texana really needs this one, and I tell you, as a race fan, thank you so much for being able to culminate and put this together. I mean, because I don't know. I haven't talked to you offline, but I'm sure there's probably a lot of you that's like, we just can't do this. But you're still doing that servant part to get it done, man. And I know the people are going to appreciate it. It's going to be a great show on Saturday night.
Well, I appreciate that. And a lot of people, will catch a lot of credit. They're honest with you, those guys on the grounds, man, they're making it happen. We're kind of pulling some strings behind the scenes, but I can't stress enough about how much they're working and making stuff happen, and just excited to be down here, man. I love being down here.
Yep, that's right. All right, my man. See you over the weekend, dude. Looking forward to a big show happening there at TRP.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all's time. Thank y'all for what y'all are doing for racing, and thanks for introducing me to asphalt racing. I've been enjoying it.
Let's go. Yeah, see you soon, man.
Yeah.
There he goes, KR Kevin Rogers, and that really was the thing that I was waiting for. We're sorry about being kind of muffled right there. If you've ever been out there to that Edna, Texas area, it's not exactly the Silicon Valley of.
No, it's not exactly the highest tech internet out there either. So
we've
both been at that same Holiday Inn, or not Holiday, Best Western.
Best Western.
I'm thinking about Holiday Inn in Houston with the horrible Wi-Fi, but. The Best Western there in Edna doesn't have the best Wi-Fi either. So
yeah, the Best Western right there, that is like the Taj Mahal of Edna. It's a great hotel. I mean, it's a very good hotel. The one next door that we stayed at, maybe not so much, but anyway. Yeah. But so I think that's so let's kind of take another look at that. Get it pulled up right here. And again, I didn't pull the entire flyer, but the thing to really look at right there about this weekend coming up, it was going to be a 2-day show. It's been kind of culminated into one. No classes eliminated. I mean, obviously the purse had to be adjusted, and like I said, it really seems like everybody really seems to have an open mind when you have because you're going to lose some folks. And KR said about folks not coming to rather run the other race when the purse adjusts like it does. I mean, that's what's going to happen. I mean, that's part of the deal right there. And the expenses do kind of factor in, but Bobby, you can kind of break it down right there. You'll be boots on the ground calling that stuff. I think that this is going to be, I still think you're going to have a pretty damn massive show right here.
I think so. I mean, I was going to tell KR and kind of forgot that it has been May 10th is the last time we had cars circling around that facility. They've had four rainouts in a row down there. So the last time we raced was May the 10th. Now we're coming in with the 1-day only show, Atzenhofer Summer Shootout. They're coming up on Saturday the 12th. And so it should be fun. The locals are ready to go for sure, because they've been itching because they hadn't raced in almost 2 months. And so they'll be ready to go. And then when you get the out-of-towners coming in to kind of see what they can do there, that's a good thing. I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, I am partial to my friends at Texana Raceway Park because I do work there. I don't represent them on the show, but I do like to promote them on the show. So I'm not I'm the voice of Texana in the tower, but not the voice of Texana on these airwaves. So but like he said, Cord and Monty have been doing a lot of behind the scenes work, getting that together. I'm on text threads with Cord and Monty about different stuff, so that's a good thing. Cord just recently had a birthday. That's a good thing. So he should be in a good mood this week if he shows up. So yeah, if you've never been down to Texana Raceway Park, head on down there. This would be a great weekend to go. It's not far. It's about 2 hours from everywhere. About 2 hours from Houston, depending on which side of Houston you live on. It's 2 hours from Corpus, 2 hours from San Antonio, a little over 2 hours from Central Texas, right outside of Austin. So it's a lot of fun, and it's worth the drive if you drive further than 2 hours. So it should be a lot of fun. I haven't seen the entry list yet because they don't really do those to the day of, but it'll be fun. I'm going to have a good time.
And here is the second race that he was talking about right there, the Cowboy Up. And again, it's back-to-back weekends for him. And this is over at Rocket Raceway Park in Petty. So this is if you've got a couple of free weekends and kind of depending on what part of Texas that you're in. Like for me, I think I'm kind of right in the middle of these two places where I think whichever way I went, I think Petty would probably be just a little bit further.
Hours.
Yeah, to go to Rocket, but these are a couple of big events that have been put together, and I've got a couple of texts asking about. So what's the weather looking like for Saturday at Edna? And I mean, I don't know.
30 to 50, depending on what you look at, because I've been kind of glancing at it myself the last couple of days. So depending on the weather source, it's 30 to 50%, depending on who you're looking at.
Yeah, and I think it's just a really good idea to call off. I mean, as much as the Friday would be good. I mean, I think it's just a really good idea because you're going to get out there. You'd have gotten into a saturated racetrack that's going to get to be able to rework it for the main events on Saturday. So it's a really good call right there. And in
the pit area, that's a lot of rough too. You get them heavy ass haulers in there in the pit area. That could be rough.
Yeah, nobody shows up in an open trailer anymore. Well, actually, in Edna they do. At Texana they do. But when these guys come rolling up in those big rigs, I mean that's what's going to get all tore up. And our man Milton Hope checking in from Colorado. He's out there on a golf tour. A little bit jealous right now. Milton, got your message there. I replied to you on the Facebook. It was that fantastic Wi-Fi, but it all worked out. KR mentioned, I mean, I think we knew what he was talking about. It was clear enough. It was clear enough for us to know what he was talking about. But looking forward to the weekend there. I think it's going to be a fantastic show at Edna. And like Bobby said, try to get out there and check out some of that action because it's just a great venue. It's a cozy venue. It's one of those where if you grew up at short tracks around here, around the state of Texas, if you grew up like we did, like I did at Speedorama or San Antonio or Corpus, Edna really feels like that to me. I mean, just not obviously the racing, the shows, all of that has changed, but it's just a very homey feel. I mean, that's what I really enjoy about that place. And like we talked about, the amenities and so forth are just, I'm serious. I say state of the art. I say state of the art when it comes to some other racetracks. It's like rolling up into it's like rolling up into a brand new racetrack is what that feels like.
Yeah, they've done a lot of work over the last couple of years, and they put a lot of money, a lot of effort, a lot of sweat equity into that place. So Cord cares about the place. He really does. And so he's had an opportunity to have, I think he's had it 4 years now, 4 or 5 years, I think is how long he's had the place. So he's done a lot of big capital improvements and he has more stuff in the works. Obviously the rainouts aren't helping the bottom line any, but there's a few more projects in the work to make that place even better. So.
Well, Cord's one of the few guys, we always talk about the plight of the race promoter or plight of the racetrack owner where Cord is actually the racetrack owner. So he's actually able to make those kind of improvements in it to where, I mean, is he going to profit? I doubt it, but it's a whole different situation where Cord is a business owner where a lot of times promoters are challenged because they don't own that piece of land and it's not their facility. And Cord is, literally a lot more invested in there to where he can kind of make decisions and do those different things. But great conversation right there with Kevin Rogers. We'll talk about that here in a little bit more. We'll remind you before we get off the air, coming up, the big summer shootout happening there at Texana Raceway Park, and then the Cowboy Up the following week at Rocket Raceway Park over in Petty. Let you hear from our friends at My Race Pass. We may even hear from James Cole again. He looks so good on screen. We may hear from him one more time. We'll come back, maybe talk a little slinger, talk a little NASCAR, talk a little IndyCar, and then we'll get you guys out the door and ready for your race weekend. Again, there's the Kerr County Flood Relief Fund. Lots of other different places that you can be helpful and be a part of all of the efforts that are going on right there. That one right there is local. Feel free to do your own research. Whatever you're doing, please do some sort of research before you start, giving money away. Here's My Race Pass.
Welcome to the My Race Pass app, the #1 app for motorsports fans. We want to make sure you get the most out of your My Race Pass app experience. With your new free account, you can use the My Race Pass app to see race day information, including event entries and official lineups and results for over 600 organizations across North America. You can also see track information and purchase online event tickets for select tracks. With your free account, you can also search for a track or series on the My Race Pass app and favorite their profile to receive news and race day notifications on your mobile device. To see more information and to see which app subscription is best for you, be sure to visit getmrpapp.com. My Race Pass, the ultimate racing resource.
Precision, consistency. Just like in racing, these are our values as screen printing, embroidery, and everything in between. If it's branded, we can do it.
On Demand Shirts, official apparel provider of the Revved Up Sports Show and My Race Pass. So, Bobby, we go diving in a big way. Speaking of doing a valiant effort to get a race in Slinger the other night, man,
it's crazy.
Oh man, the weather kind of snuck up there, and I actually turned that off for a while because it's like, okay, I don't think this is going to happen. And then I flipped it back on later, and we were getting towards the end. Another clinic put on there by Ty Majeski. But when you talk about asphalt racing, kind of what KR's talking about right there, he is a dirt guy. I bet watching that action at Slinger, that's, dude, when you talk about elbows up and all those other phrases right there, that quarter mile, 33-degree banked half mile or a quarter mile high bank racetrack right there. That's some kind of action right there.
It's fun to watch on Sunday nights,
man.
And that's been the best thing about it is that they now when the cup stuff is over, that place is just getting fired up. So you pop down in front of the TV, crack open a cold one if you hadn't already had a few during the cup race, and sit down and watch some good old fashioned asphalt short track racing from Wisconsin. And it's funny, they race almost every night of the week up there, and that track on a Sunday night is usually pretty packed.
Oh man, absolutely. And so you have Majeski winning that race, and it was. I mean, he dominated. Hear the in-car audio, in-car video. They had the audio plugged in to where I think with about 3 to go, he cues the radio. He goes, out of gas, and his crew's like, what? And I mean, he just kept on going, And they said, you got to quit that shit, Ty. So yeah. It was that dominating that he was able to do that. Just quite. That guy shows up in that iRacing number 91, and you're probably going to be chasing that dude. I've seen it firsthand. He's hell on wheels, literally, in those big races like that.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, he's dominated Slinger before, and he's going to do it again. And it's he's a good dude though. It'd be one thing if he was kind of an a-hole, but he doesn't come off that way. Obviously, he's been on the show before. We've had a chance to talk to him on the show and then talk to him in person, and just a really good dude. He's worked hard for what he's got. Mm-hmm. He's a grinder. He's been grinding to get from the super late model ranks into the trucks. Obviously, defending Truck Series champion. So he's there. He's working on that first win for the season in the trucks, but I think he'll make the playoffs anyway. So
joining very elite company right there with the amount of Slinger Nationals that he now has in his trophy case. Austin Nason, who did you hear him say that this is probably going to be it for him? That's one of those dudes where Austin Nason just a staple when you think of super late model racing across the country. Taking the trip north right there, but that 14 car and again it was he talked about probably stepping away, and then the more that they talk to him, it's like well maybe I'm not going to do it as much. But yeah, talking about he had to go run the business. And so that, kind of funny to watch that all play itself out. Andrew Morrissey, Derek Krause, hell of a drive for Derek Krause. That was
he coming way back there too.
Woo, way back. And then Casey Johnson, another friend of ours from up north with a good run right there in the top 5. If you're a Texas racing fan and you were checking into the Firecracker 265, I may have talked about this last week. You weren't on with me, but I think it goes without saying we should talk again of Jared Fryer. Boom. Jared Fryer handpicking those races, and it's like if he shows up, he's going to win. That's what it looks like right now for car 14.
Yeah, he's pretty much show up and running for second, just like Grandpa used to do. So it's a good show. Our man Caden Honeycutt finished second in that race.
Yep.
So it's a good representation for Texas-based racers. So
Yeah. And I posted something about Jared winning, and Mark, posted on there, better lucky than good, with the Mini Terrell and Landon Lewis and all of that mess right there that went on. But those are the breaks that Jared couldn't get before. A lot of times in the past, it was Jared that had those bad breaks. But right now, he's just showing up, and that car was just fast all night, and he was sitting there waiting. But another win there for Jared Fryer, and he's winning these big races. He's winning these really big races like that one, the Firecracker 265. Brandon Lopez wins in the Pro Late models. That 47 and that 4-car, man, that's a pretty damn potent little team right there. And Honeycutt is saddling back up to jump back in one of those again this weekend. So that's a pretty badass team right there with that Lopez team.
Yeah, that Lopez team's got their stuff together. Obviously, they get a little help from our buddy JC Umshide on the crew chief side to help with the setups, and then it doesn't hurt that you got some pretty good drivers in there too. So that's half the battle, right? And you got to have that camaraderie and that chemistry between the crew chief and the driver. That makes all the difference in the world. You get a good combination of crew chief and driver, and you get an owner that gives them anything they need. That equals success right there.
Yeah, and they'll do it again this weekend as they get set for the what is that? The Road to the Throwback at Hickory, and that's where as an asphalt guy, that I am, where I sit here and I watch these races. It's like they're racing at, I see the races at Slinger, and I see the races at Hickory, and I see them racing at all these, Jennerstown,
Berlin,
Yeah, and it's like, damn, I am very happy that we have the dirt track racing that we have in Texas. But it's like when I sit there and watch that, it's like, I mean, like watching Slinger the other night, I'm like, man, that reminds me of CC Speedway. That's
on steroids, man. That's what it was.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. And some good news that we saw, I think is first reported. I think it was Flow Racing that reported that the former New River All-American Speedway will, kind of had a very abrupt close down right there. It'll be rebranded and opened up on August 9th as Coastal Plains Raceway. Another new name for that place, but I don't care. It's opened again. That's a racetrack that's surviving. And that's a pretty little racy joint right there as well.
That's a great track. That track is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Modifieds of Mayhem will be racing this weekend as well as they head over to Nashville. So that's going to be a pretty good little run for those guys. Quite the drive, I think, for them. So you'll probably see a lot of the modifieds that won't be able to make that trip. I don't think that our man Jared Maupin will make that trip there in the Polaro car.
I think he was planning on racing for the 5,000 to win at Texana.
Yeah. And I'm sure his plan won't change. I'm sure the plan won't change even with the purse change. I'm sure that you'll see him there. But Maupin, as a matter of fact, at Houston this past weekend, a winner in the Outlaws and the Trucks. So Jared Maupin continuing that nice crossover right there. Modifieds, Jarmandia. And I mean, doesn't it feel right again? Joe Armandie out there winning races in Houston again. That kind of, when you talk about a resurgence in Texas asphalt racing, that right there kind of makes me think that okay, it's on the right path.
Yeah, when Joe starts showing up, that's it's a good time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Armandia over Maupin and Johnny Walker. So mopping between a couple of veterans there at HMP. Also do want to mention, we've been talking about the tragedies in Texas with the flooding and so forth. We saw a pretty damn scary incident at Sonoya as well, where you had one of those, I think it's 604 crate late model, lap 3 of the feature race right there, gets a little bit out of shape. And, it's sad to say, like you and I were texting back and forth, that light pole saved a lot of lives.
Sure did.
Because oh god, it's so scary to see that when that happens, man.
Yeah, don't stand next to the fence. We've mentioned it every time we announce. You got to tell somebody to stand back away from the fence, and there's videos that unfortunately tell you why we have to remind so many people to back away from the fence.
Yeah, you cannot stand there. I mean, because when we mention that, a lot of times we're thinking about, like at a dirt track, it's like stuff comes up off the track. You get clay, you get dirt, whatever that's coming up, and I mean, if that gets you in an eyeball, that's not anything good. You get two cars that get together and you get little pieces of whatever that comes off. I mean, you don't want to take a shot like that, but that is the ultimate horrible situation when you get a car airborne like that. You are not going to get away from that. When you're standing there, I mean, I don't care if you've had a beer, 20 beers, or none. That car is going to get you each and every time that it becomes airborne. That's a 300-pound missile flying through the air. And A lot of damn lucky people there. A lot of damn lucky people.
Yeah, that pole saved a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. So obviously that and that's your PSA. Don't stand by the fence. And I don't like, even at Houston, don't stand by that concrete wall. I mean, just think it's not often. It's never happened. It's a very rare occasion, but this is a very fluky sport, man. You get one in the air, and that's not a good thing. Do want to mention also, because we talked to our man Boo Carlisle. He was on here a couple of weeks ago. We were talking about the Star Super Stock Tour. They actually have it's a co-branded race that they have coming up this weekend at Dillon over there in North Carolina, and that's a street stock race, a super stock race. We had pictures up last week or 2 weeks ago when they were on, and that's $1,000 to win. So I think that's
a hefty purse for those cars.
It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. We'll watch that as well. Also, next week you've got if you're a sprint car fan, next week with. Should we say that you have some cooperation with High Limits and World of Outlaws? They just happen to be in the same place there at Eldora. That's coming up with the King's Royal and then the Joker's Jackpot. That's going to be fun. That's going to be a lot of fun next weekend.
Put the best of the best right there together.
Absolutely. That'll be, and of course you'll have High Limits on FS1. That's huge. That is huge.
That's big. That's about like the car store being on FS1.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. So tune into that. All right, on to the NASCAR stuff. Your man SVG, the winner there at Chicago. Shocker.
Smoked their ass. And Vegas knew it too. He was at 2-1 odds to win. He was at plus 200. I actually put money on AJ Allmendinger, and it looked good for a while. He would have netted me a good $500, but not so strong there at the end. Ended up finishing, I think, 5th or 6th. But not a shocker. SVG wins. It's not going to be a shocker as SVG doubles up at Sonoma. He's the defending Xfinity winner from last year, and he didn't compete at Sonoma last year in the Cup car. So
and of course now you have. I saw a lot of the scuttlebutt or whatever you want to call it going back and forth today. You know, how many road course races are too many? And I totally get that. I mean, I totally get where people are going to talk about that. But when you look at, this day and age, I mean, for one thing, the car, if Shane Van Gisbergen wasn't in these races, I think we'd feel different about the road course races, because I think we'd have, the races would be better because, like you mentioned right there, I mean, what he did this past weekend, what he did in Mexico, I mean, that's just absolute ass whooping. I mean, that's the only way to put it. And that's the thing about it, where if you look at what Trackhouse has done, they went out and got this guy, and you put him in that car. And I mean, is he going to win he may win a super speedway race. I mean, I don't know. Anybody can win super speedway race with the way those things work out, but you've gone out and you've got this guy. And what you've done is you've essentially put yourself in a position to be in the playoffs all the time. And that's because of the road courses. And the thing about it is, because I truly think, BC, that he's going to get the ovals figured out. Just wait till that happens.
Yeah, he's going to eventually. It took Marcus Ambrose a long time to get the ovals and stuff figured out too. But did you see the stat that pissed everybody off about the SVG stat? He has 3 wins in 33 total Cup starts over the course of 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And the stat that pissed everybody off, the last person to have that good a stat, Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, he ain't no Jimmy Johnson. Well, hey, numbers are numbers.
Yeah. I mean, that's the environment we're in. And there is that balance right there. And a lot of it is because it is. And this is where we go back to, and here we are when we were talking about the good in people. Now I'm about to start bitching about people when it's people that don't care to watch NASCAR. There are, I think, a lot of the newer audience that would be more apt to tune in to watch a road course or a street course race, whichever, where you can go and draw some of the sports car fans or the supercar fans. I mean, whatever, because your people don't care anymore. And that's what they're doing right here. And, is this the end of Chicago? I think so. I personally think it's funny that so many people are so excited and jazzed up and say that we need to go back to Chicagoland when Chicagoland was on the schedule. It sucked. It was a cookie cutter and you had to get rid of it. So
we keep hearing Coda's not going to be on there. So Coda's date could go to North Wilkesboro for an actual points race, but I hope not.
Yeah, no, yeah. I personally think again, a lot of it's personal preference because it's right here. I think that this market is good for that. But I will say, when it comes to Austin, when it comes to COTA, I mean, a lot of people haven't showed up. So it, I don't know. We'll see how that all shifts around. I'm curious to see with Mexico City. I think Mexico City returns. I think you piggyback that off of Fort Worth, maybe, I guess.
They can't have that same logistical nightmare.
No.
Betting odds are in. SVG is more of a lock in Vegas this week than last week. It is Thursday afternoon, and he is at plus 130. Last week on Sunday afternoon, he was up to plus 150. So he's at plus 130 to win. Other notables: Larson at plus 550, Ty Gibbs and McDowell at plus 1100, Chris Buescher plus 1400, along with Chase Elliott, Tyler Reddick, Christopher Bell, Kyle Busch at plus 2200, and Ryan Blaney at plus 2500. So
kind of weird. I heard him talking on the radio the other day when I was driving back home. When was that? Monday. Kyle Busch's only top fives are on road courses.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird, man. That's weird. I will say that I think Sonoma is probably the one track where maybe one of these NASCAR ringers could go in there and beat SGV or SVG. I always call them SGV, but yeah, this may be the one time. But I mean, just think about this. I mean, this dude, and because I heard them talking about this as well, because what Shane's also doing as he's doing this, he's just racking up playoff points. I mean, this guy, he's going to be in a very low standing when it comes to total point standings, but those very important playoff points, he's going to be sitting in a really good spot, and he could put himself in the top 12. I mean, he could get into the top 8. I mean,
there is a road course in the play. Here's the road course. There's 2 more to go.
Yeah.
He's got Sonoma and he's got Watkins Glen, and then the Roval is in the playoffs.
Yeah. And I talked about this last week. I know I talked about this last week because it happened right as the show was starting last week with the move there with Suarez at Trackhouse. Not a surprise. I mean, this is for everything that we've just talked about. I mean, for one thing, you've got the Red Bull, you've got everything that's kind of tied in right there. Then you got Connor Zilic waiting in the wings right there to where he is very much going to be. He's like a young Shane Van Gisbergen, except he's got a lot of the oval stuff already figured out just from more time that he's been able to do it. But it was a no-brainer that was going to happen. I think for Daniel Suarez, I said last week that I think that maybe, a move over to Junior Motorsports and Xfinity would be good for him. I don't know, Bobby. I've had this crazy thought. I tweeted it out. I had this crazy thought because we've watched for a long time. There's been some rumblings that maybe when it comes to RCR, and we just saw Kyle Busch re-up with RCR. And I think a lot of folks are like, why is he doing that? Number one, where else is he going to go? There's no open seats. That's the problem right now. And this charter thing could change that. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. But I've had this funny feeling since Suarez, since they made that move. I could totally see Austin Dillon going to run RCR, going to step in that role. He runs the bull riding team. He can kind of supersede Pop right there. Move Kyle Busch to the 3, stick Suarez in the 8. I don't know why. That sounds like something that could happen. And I may be way off base, and I probably am. But I don't know why that one just keeps gnawing on me.
Mm-hmm. I think the Junior Motorsports one is more likely, though.
Yeah, and that's where if you're Suarez, you go there and you're going to be mega competitive, and the dude can drive. I mean, the dude is a good driver, but he's handled this well. And the more that we hear about it, it sounds like it was like a lot of times when you have a situation like this, you hear where it was an amicable, both parties agreed to this. The more that I hear about it, I think Suarez is like, good. I'm done. I'm done. I'm moving on.
Yeah. Well, like that one Netflix show, when his wife was like, they gave my man a donkey and a sword to go to a machine gun fight or something like that.
Yeah.
Or gave my man a donkey and a sword to go to war or something like that. Something.
Yeah. Hey man, and the other part about it is we talk about sponsorship, we talk about dollars, we talk a lot about that, and he definitely has and that win in Mexico, I think is something that really is going to help him. Whatever the next step is going to be, he'll definitely be around.
Yeah, when you got Red Bull wanting to throw that money at you to put Zilich in a cup car, it's hard to turn that money down.
Yeah, you can't turn that down. And the thing about it is, I mean, just think about that right there. When you have Zilich and Shane, you're going to have those two guys together right there. Hell, you're going to have a lot of first and seconds at road courses. I mean, because those two guys right there are going to be they're going to be the ones to beat. And again,
those Xfinity cars look so good in Chicago too.
Yeah. That's not official, but it
free. Those are pre-order, by the way. Those that are in the diecast collection, the SVG and Connor Zilich WeatherTech Red Bull cars for their shootout in Chicago. They are available for pre-order, $100 a piece, unless you get them autographed. They don't ship until February of 2026.
Nice.
So I know what I'm getting for my birthday in 2026 is going to be a SVG diecast.
There you go. 2311 and front row with the lawsuit. More happenings today. To kind of basically put it in a nutshell, is
they screwed.
They may not have a charter by the time we get to Dover. I mean, what is that? How many charters is that? 5, 6? 6.
3 apiece.
Ooh. And you got to run as an open team. And that, I think I was talking to somebody the other day and they're like, no big deal. They're going to qualify anyway. I'm like, well, it's not that. I mean, it's the money.
They lose percentage of the purse.
Man. So it's one of those things.
And there's no way NASCAR's playing nice on that deal. No way.
And that's where I'm curious. Would NASCAR, let's say that does happen. Let's say that they lose the charters and they have to run open as of Dover. Does NASCAR put those? Are they for sale right now? I mean, are they for sale then or the following week? I think there are teams that want them. $50 million, I think, is the last number that I heard is what that thing is worth. I mean, do you put him on the open market?
We're sold for 100, and he's got 2 charters.
God, do you put those things on? Do you put them on the market? Do you hold on to them? I mean, do you wait? I mean, what does NASCAR do with that? I mean, that could be where NASCAR could take the ultimate nut punch and say, all right, you don't want to play by these rules. The charters come back to us. They're on the open market right now. We don't care.
And somebody will buy them. NASCAR is a hot enough commodity right now. Again, despite what people think, NASCAR's a hot enough commodity where they'll get people to buy in.
Well, and the thing about this is, I mean,
Dodge has got to go somewhere.
That's what I was going to say. You have to know that NASCAR is sitting there now with Ram coming back in, and they're thinking, okay, well, maybe we do hold on to them. What's going to hold on to what's going to happen when you hold on to them? They're going to get more valuable. So yeah, I don't. That's going to be really interesting. I think that this whole plan for Bob Jenkins and for Jordan and Denny and all of this, it is backfired. It is backfired, and it's my hope that they have the ego to say, okay, where do we sign at this point? Because it could get really, really bad for them, really bad.
NASCAR's not trying to get the bad publicity out of this, though, so they could play nice, but I doubt it.
Yeah, I think for what is alleged against NASCAR for being the monarchy, I mean, I think that's really, if this happened, I think it's free market, charters for sale. I think that would kind of drive that point home. But at the same time, it has not worked out the way that those two teams wanted it to. And what happens to the drivers? I heard them talking on Channel 90 today that I think in the contracts of I don't know who all of those drivers, it says they have to drive for a charter team. Do they become free agents if those charters?
Where are they going to go?
That's that's the whole thing. That's the whole thing, and that's where with NASCAR it's so hard because you can't. I mean, there's nowhere to go, and the cars will qualify. The cars are fast. The cars are whatever. The teams are in place, but it's just a shame that we've gotten to this point.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah,
because Airspeed's a beautiful facility. They spend a lot of money building that shop.
Yeah. IndyCar doubleheader at Iowa Speedway this weekend. If you're looking for some fun things to watch on Friday or on Saturday and Sunday, that IndyCars on oval tracks, especially those.
That's a good track for IndyCar.
Yeah, that's a good spot right there. Finally, last thoughts there. We don't talk about Formula One here very often, but the move there with Christian Horner out at Red Bull, and that was like that sent shockwaves throughout the sports world. It's like I looked at ESPN, it's like boom, breaking news. I'm like, great, another NBA move, and it's like, no, Christian Horner gone. Red Bull.
I know. You text me and I was like, no way, and then I looked and sure enough, he gone.
Yep, he's out of there. So we'll see. There's been a lot of
that's not an amicable split for sure.
No, they had a nicely worded PR release right there talking about everything, which he did. I mean, he's done a lot there in 20 some odd years, but
he is Red Bull. Like, he is the mastermind. He is the god. Well, I guess Dietrich Matrix or whatever, the guy that owned Red Bull, the drink company, was the godfather. But in terms of like the F1 team, Christian Horner is the man that made it all happen. Absolutely.
And that's where there's a lot more to this. I mean, there were some other allegations internally, that had kind of factored in right here, but this is just to where that series is so, financially driven. And right now, they're getting their ass kicked, and that doesn't help. I mean, I think if a lot of this was going on, but yet you still had, winning races, but you're fourth in constructor standings right now. Been a long time since Red Bull's been fourth in constructor.
Well, they lost their engineer. That one guy left, and
then hell, the driver fiasco where the second driver, you replace a guy and you bring this guy in, and hell, he's out of there. You ain't even to the halfway pole, and you've had to make a driver change. So just a lot of mess right there, a lot of mess. So that's about everything. I think we got everything covered right there. Yep. Again, there is that's the Kerr County Relief Fund. You guys feel free to check out on your own there. But continue to send those thoughts and prayers, however that you deal with that, to the folks in Texas, because it really has been a tough go. And the thing about it is, we may not be done. That's the weird part about it, Bobby.
Well, hopefully it's just got to dry up a little bit.
Yeah.
Those that prayed for rain pray for some dryness.
Yep. Again, for our Texas folks checking in, here is the revamped schedule and so forth for at least what you need to know going on this weekend at Texana Raceway Park. A little bit of change in obviously going to one day, a little change in purse there, but get on out there, check that out, and I think you'll be glad that you made your way out there.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that one. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys, we will do it again next Tuesday. Should be back to the Tuesday date again. We took off for Slinger, looking at those dates right there, because the other one that we have to think of the King's Royal and all of that. But I think that on Tuesday we should be good. So 7:00 we'll dive back on here, and so your prep. I mean, you get a little more time to start thinking about TRP.
Well, I have the sponsor lineup already from KR. I got to print that out. I actually took the day off tomorrow to prepare, even though we're not racing tomorrow night. I'm still taking the day off. Gonna try to catch up on a few little things around the house, and then dot some I's, cross some T's on the notes, get ready to head down there on Saturday afternoon.
Absolutely. Should be a good one over at Texana Raceway Park. All right, guys, if you get a chance, be sure and like the Revved Up Sports Show Facebook page or RevvedUpSportsShow.com. All of the archives are there. You can catch the podcast as well. You can catch audio podcasts at iTunes, Google Play, everywhere. Spreaker, iHeart, everywhere that you catch your podcast, you will find the Revved Up Sports Show podcast. Be sure and like Racing America as well, and catch all the live racing coming up this weekend. All right, Bobby, be safe on your travels down there, dude. Again, you folks keep the great thoughts for Texas, the positive thoughts, and we'll do it again next Tuesday, 7:00 Central, 8:00 Eastern. #Real Race Talk. This is the Revved Up Sports Show.